What's up, Miamians? It's your neighborhood, I Jolie, and this is how to make it in Miami.
Who do I have the pleasure with interviewing today?
My name is Christina Hand, and I'm the owner of Cilver Bow botanicals.
Where did you get the name Cilver Bow?
So it's really funny how it originated. I've been here for a while now, and I used to actually manage a boutique, and I used to sell Swarovski crystal jeans. And I used to have like the patches put in, but I would also have like the bows on the side of the jeans. So I just came up with the name one day, Cilver Bow, but it actually was originally with an S, but then I just switched it to the C for Christina. So it was really funny how someone asked me my name one day, and they were like, "Oh, what's your name?" And I'm like, "My name is Cilver," but with the C. And they're like, "Oh, I don't think your mom would name you that." And I was like, "No, yeah, she did." And pretty much since that day, it just pretty much stuck with me. So left it alone.
And then Hand is your last name.
Hand is
and
my last name,
right? So how long have you been in business?
So I've actually had my salon open for almost a year now. So I'm a month away from that goal. That's something that's really important to me. But I've had my product line probably 2 years prior, and that's like right before the pandemic happened. So in total 3 years. So I'm giving it 5 total.
So what exactly is your business?
So I have a natural, non-toxic, vegan-friendly nail salon. We focus mainly on natural nail care, which a lot of salons in Miami don't do. I just saw a space in the market, and I kind of just went for it. So it started off just with my product line, and then it just went into, you know, just me having my own space and me kind of just, I would say, give a lot of my expert advice, expertise in the industry, just because I've seen a lot of things happen. And there's a reason why I'm pushing more like a safety situation when it comes to products, when it comes to treatment services, when it comes to just enjoying like your you time. Like, you don't want to come into a salon and have them playing like bachata music. Like, we're not in a dance lesson. We actually want to listen and, you know, listen to some spa music and feel ourselves. But that's why I started it. Just a lot of things that I've witnessed over the years. I'm like, okay, no, this has to change.
So did you have to go to school for it, or is it?
So yes. So I actually went to beauty school. I've been licensed for about 9 years.
Okay.
My process was pretty long. It took about 9 months and a lot of hours. But during like that process, I really just like honed in different areas of what I'm actually licensed to do. So as a licensed full specialist, I'm licensed to do makeup, nails, facials, waxing, lashes, things like that. But I really just did all of those categories, but at different times in my career.
Okay.
So that's 9 years of everything like just jumbled in. But me deciding like, hey, you know, nails is like the way to go, even though my last name is Hand here.
So with nails, you like that better than makeup and
I like it better
else?
than anything else. It gives me like the flexibility to do what I need to do. My clients are more likely to, I would say, just get on like my schedule of things, which is great, you know, versus it being with makeup. Like, I have to be on like the photographer's time, the person who's paying us time, you know, to do certain things. And for me, it wasn't the right decision to make at the time because I had a kid. So I kind of just let it go. So I had to like push people, like say no. Like, I do nails now, not makeup. So they're like, no, can you still do my makeup? So even like today, I'll have like clients come in and they'll bring their makeup in just so I can teach them like how to put like do a wing eyeliner, how to pull out like a full face of foundation, just look natural. So I still get that here and there, but I try not to like do it anymore.
So do you have like YouTube or anything where you offer like, techniques?
Right now, I'm actually coming out with a talk show. It's going to be called Talk to the Hand.
Okay.
So I'm just going to be sharing information on salon safety and kind of just talking about certain lawsuits that will happen in salons, like things that people don't talk about. So you go to a nail salon, you think everything is fine, you put your foot in a bowl of water, you know, everything just seems really natural, really organized. But there's probably a step that the nail technician missed that could potentially lead you to like losing your toes. There's a situation where this woman, she did a lawsuit, and her family also did one. She went to a nail salon. She basically did that, soaked her feet in the water. They nipped her, and basically the bowl wasn't sanitized. So she ended up having to get 2 to 3 toes, I think, amputated. And then after that, after surgery, she woke up from surgery and she looked at her feet, you know, everything is not the same. So she kind of caught a heart attack and she died. So that's a situation where you don't really think it's going to happen, and you went there in a moment to feel relaxed and not have to think about those things. Like, oh my God, is it clean? Oh my God, like, is this going to happen? Oh, am I going to have to like lose a leg today? Like, you don't want to have to think about those things. You want to come in and relax and like feel like you're being taken care of. But I graduated from Miami Central. I did do cosmetology there as well.
Okay, Rockets.
Right?
My daddy
Rockets. I know, Miami. I'm like New York and Miami mixed. But my daughter was born here. And she went to New York for like 2 weeks, and she came back like talking yo and saying all this stuff. And I'm like, girl, you are not from New York. But she would tell all my clients that she was from New York. I'm like, whatever. I'm going to give it to her since she went for 2 weeks. She got her badge. But she a Miami girl.
Okay. So
I think what sets me apart from a lot of people in the nail industry, whether it comes to like salon owners or like the actual nail techs, is that I really honed in on my expertise. Like I really did a lot of research. I really practiced what I preach in a way. And I think that's really important because I feel like in this industry, a lot of the things that we did learn in the textbook, we don't really apply it. A lot of people don't apply it. I apply it. Like, I feel like a lot of people really don't apply what they learned. And they get psyched into people who've probably just wanted to open a nail salon. They don't necessarily have that background in doing certain things, but they want us to do things a certain way. So if, like, let's say I'm a regular nail tech working in another salon. So they would actually take the nail tech and say, hey, I know you learned this in school, but this is what I want you to do because I want my customers to know us for this. But it's just like, hey, we can't do that. But they're like, we don't care. They don't care. They won't know the difference. And I'm like, people notice, especially if they're getting the right advice. So somebody's going to come to them one day and say, hey, you guys are not supposed to be doing this. So I think that's important. We got to get back into pretty much taking what we learned and really apply it into the real world so people can start seeing nail techs for what they are. We are specialists in what we do for a reason, and I think that's important, and I take pride in that. So that's what sets me apart.
So knowing the book is the actual important part, because a lot of people say like, oh, you don't need schooling, experience is your best teacher. And
no, I mean, you can have experience, but those experiences are going to lead you pretty much where I ended up. Like I decided like, hey, I've worked in tons of salons all over Miami, and I'm just like, I was never content or happy with how things were done. And in this industry, when you do speak up, you're out of a job. So you're going to have to do the same thing all over again. So for me, I'm out.
You came down from New York?
So I actually came down here when I was 12. My dad passed away from diabetes, and he left us a few bucks. So me and my mom literally uprooted and came down here. So my mom actually started her own cleaning business when she came out here. So that was an eye-opener for me. Like, okay, well, if I was to move, would I have witnessed that? Would I have saw that? Would I had, so I think everything for me kind of happened for a reason.
What's something that gives you the confidence?
Feedback.
Okay.
The feedback that I've pretty much gotten, I literally started off with 0 clientele. And starting off and then just getting that feedback from just new people, because I went from working with men to working with women, and it's completely different.
What do you like more?
So I do like working with men more because it's just easier. Okay. Women, you gotta like tell them they look good a million times. Like, girl, you look good. And she's like, no, I don't look good. You sure I look good? Yes, you look good. You look fucking amazing. But with men, it's like they don't even ask you questions. They're just like, okay, just do it. Go ahead. So it's a lot easier in that aspect. But I do prefer to work with women because I feel like there is a need that needs to be filled in this industry, and that's them taking care of themselves, and that's taking care of their foundation, which is their natural nails, in order for them to do things like acrylic or dip. I'm not against it. I just say find an alternative to take care of yourself and then do those things,
So are your products vegan friendly?
Yes, my products are vegan friendly. I think, we have to start taking care of the planet as we take care of ourselves. So that's really important. And I just feel like when you do use vegan products, you're using less chemicals. That means that things are less likely to irritate your skin or your body. And in most salon cases, you won't even know until probably a few weeks later that something has irritated you. You won't really know where it's coming from. So for me, it's just why not just avoid that in the long run, And then you're saving the planet and some animals. So I'm happy.
Are you really?
Yes.
Like, I don't like to say that I'm vegan. I don't want to put the whole thing on me, but I don't eat meat. But I don't practice other, practice using non-vegan products. So it's like, when I hear it, it's like, okay, that's cool. It can go all the way around.
Yeah, so if you're not eating meat, that means you're not having like a lot of antibiotics and things that are put in your body, you know? You're taking something out of your body. But if you're not doing it on the outside, what's the point? You know? So if that's your reason for not eating meat, then, you know, well, I don't know if it is, but I'm just saying, you know, if it is, then why not do it with your body too? Because what you're applying is going to go directly into your bloodstream.
Yes.
So
Exactly. I just never looked at it that deep. I never looked at it that deep.
But take your time, because being vegan is not for everybody, you know, and you literally have to learn nutrition all over again. And it's the same thing with your skin. You know, you have to get rid of the products that you probably used before and start with new products. But you'll realize like things are much more easier on that side because it's less product, less chemicals, less irritants, and you'll have less problems that you need to buy more products for.
Right.
So yeah.
So what should I expect while receiving a service from you?
So when you come in, you'll have like a really nice environment. I keep things very, very clean in here. So once you come in, you'll have a diffuser going, you'll have the aroma going, so it'll relax you instantly. You can come in. I have massage chairs, by the way. If you want some wine, I have that too, girl. And then just being able to be at ease. Like I said, you want to be able to come in a space and not have to worry about what the person is doing. So I think that's where my clients just kind of feel more comfortable about. Like, they'll come in and they're like looking, if it's your first time, and you know, I'll ask a bunch of questions. I'll make sure I understand what you want, what you need. I'll give you advice, especially beforehand, to let you know what you need to do at home, and then what I'm potentially going to do in the service. So I give people a heads up. So at this point, if you want to take a nap, you're good. You can fall asleep. Just make sure, you know, when I tap you, you just move.
Right. So what is your greatest accomplishment up to date?
Creating a way for me to have generational wealth. So me potentially starting my own business is a way for my daughter to see a way out from, you know, our situation. Because like I said, I didn't grow up in the best situation, but she doesn't have to deal with a lot of things that I've had to deal with growing up and even now, you know. So I'm just making sure essentially like my daughter is well taken care of. My business is growing the way I need it to grow. So I ain't looking back this way. I'm going this way. No more imposter syndrome. I'm going to have to drop the bag somewhere. But I just think that that's something I'm really proud of, because I can come here every day and like, oh my God, I'm living my dreams. Like, it was a dream. Like, it literally was a dream. And I actually made it come true because I aligned myself with my vision and I kept going. And even though I had a little baggage on the way, which is my daughter, I picked her up and I was like, all right, we're going on this trail together. And we kept moving forward. So I just took my life and I took, you know, what I wanted and I envisioned it and I worked hard for it and got to this point. And I want my daughter to be in the same position, you know, getting older, and then having enough money to sustain herself and just do what she wants to do. Because if I could be, you know, a nail tech, she's gonna be a doctor. She's gonna be a president, you know, like I might have another one.
You blazing out great so she can run.
Yes.
How far do you plan to take your business?
So I potentially want to take it a lot further. So with me creating this concept and creating like my treatment processes and my products and things like that, all of it goes together for future endeavors that I have planned for myself. So I'm only a year in, but I potentially want to have people who want or, you know, have the same ideas that I do, maybe want, you know, something different than they're already experiencing at salons, maybe to work on their own. You know, maybe you can buy a kit, a product or something, and then go do mobile services, but do it in the way that I may have trained you. So potentially I will have trainings, but for licensed professionals as like ongoing training, especially in natural nail care, because a lot of them, they're so used to doing dip, acrylic, and things like that, they don't really know how to take care of the natural nails.
Yeah.
So I potentially want to do that going forward, and then also just open up a franchise concept. So for me, that's really important because I would like to see this all over the world. But I think it's a great you know, thing to kind of implement in the industry, because it's only one thing when you go in a place. So everybody's getting it. It's not one size fits all. You can't just do the same service on everyone.
Of course.
Definitely money, and I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste your money. So I'm here. Like if you book, I'm here.
So obviously that would mean is by appointments only. By
appointments only.
Right.
Like I do not accept walk-ins, unfortunately. It's just the way that my business is. So
what's a time where you had to overcome something like that nobody knew like it took?
Ooh, girl. I would have to say imposter syndrome. Like when you're in an industry and then you come from a certain, I would say, like, background where, you know, I wasn't born into riches. You know, I didn't have, you know, my mom helping me out. Well, she did, obviously, but, you know, I knew she didn't have it to help me in a way. So a lot of things I had to do on my own to even get to the point where I would even think of myself as an expert. Like, you know, going through school, paying for that, getting ongoing education, and having to pay for those things and do all these things, like, it costs. So for me, I kind of just felt like I didn't deserve it once I got it. And then once I was in that space, it took me a long time to say, like, Christina, no, you are the expert. You know exactly what you're talking about. And this is something you want to do. So just do it. So once I got over that fear and I just did it, like, I stopped listening to, like, that little monster in my head. I'm like, no, you are the expert. This is what you do. People are happy that you do this. So
what actually is imposter syndrome?
So imposter syndrome is basically like thinking of like your past and the things that you've been through, and then where you are pretty much in life now. Let's say like you're a doctor and you grew up in the hood. Now you're at this place where you have all these accolades, so you don't feel like you deserve them in a way. But I feel like a lot of people, especially Black women, we go through situations like that. Look at Oprah. You know, she grew up in this situation to where she was completely poor, and now she's the richest, you know, one of the richest women in the world, you know, and pretty much did all of the work to get to that point. But I just think that when someone regular does that, to them, it just doesn't feel like they deserve it because they go back so much into the past. Oprah can look at her past, but she's like, I'm not going back there. You can be here. Just because you was here at some point, you made it here. Don't let yourself go back down.
I like that.
Stay up and be confident and enjoy all the things that you potentially worked hard for. And stop letting, you know, people say, oh, you came from the hood, you can't put your products in Target. Lies. Lies. It's happened.
So what is something you would tell to your younger self?
Relax. Keep going. Everything will pretty much be exposed in the end, like whether it's good or bad. So I may have gone through like a few things and I'm like wondering, like, you know, when it's bad, of course, I'm like, why is this happening to me? And then later on I see why it had to happen, and then I'm like, oh my God, I get it now.
How do you make it in Miami?
Play hard and work harder. It's not work hard and play hard. I feel like people have that saying in their head and they say it that way, and it's like, no. You play hard, right? Because Miami, you come here to play, you have a good time, but you have to work hard. Like, you have to really work hard. And that's why people here are able to play as hard as they do, you know, when they are out here. It's because they have the time, money, and resources to do it because they did all the hard work. That's what you do when you come to Miami. So you're either going to have to establish yourself or work really hard and then, you know, do whatever you got to do after. But that's how you make it. Literally, Miami is a great place to literally make it and do what you want to do. You just have to push yourself, you know, push yourself. Don't get distracted, because you can literally go to work and then play later. It's a balance here in Miami, but you just got to learn how to maneuver it.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm actually just happy to be here, and you interviewing me. The energy, the vibe, everything is great, and I'm so happy that you came, you know. I'm just ready to do your nails.
Thank you so much.